The vehicle is registered to a man named Frederick Fountain.
He's a cop. Well, ex-cop.
Cote de Pablo's sudden and unexpected decision to leave NCIS just before filming for season 11 began was because, in the actress's own words, the character was not being treated with the respect she deserved. She said that she didn't really want to leave the show and hadn't planned to, but in the end, her choice caused Michael Weatherly, who played Tony DiNozzo, to leave the show 2 seasons later.
Now that we have one, we may have a better idea what Deering is targeting.
Well, we would, except all that information's been erased.
The fans' outpouring of love for DePablo did not go unnoticed. She said on the record that she didn't want to disappoint them or leave them hanging. But other than the network saying that money had nothing to do with the decision, and the actress saying at the time that it was a personal thing, not much was said when the shocking news came out. However, a few years later, DePablo gave an interview at Babson College, in which she made it clear that she had left because the character she loved and had worked on for 8 years wasn't getting good enough storylines. During the interview, DePablo said that her decision to leave was overwhelmingly hard and at times terrifying. Not surprising when you think about how she had just quit a show and a character she really liked, and the effects of the decision kept getting worse. Michael Weatherly left the show at the end of season 13 after saying that he thought Tony DiNozzo didn't have much going on after Ziva left. Maybe part of the reason for the initial secrecy was so that DePablo could come back to set to finish her story arc and give fans an ending to Ziva and Tony's relationship. DePablo said that she had the privilege of going back to a set and being able to say goodbye to people, and that she was able to leave on her own terms, which might explain why she didn't say anything at first. She also said she wouldn't come back unless someone writes something really great for Ziva, and she came back as Ziva in season 16 and 17, so it looks like someone wrote something she liked in the end.
It's genius.
If you say so.
Piezoelectricity is the conversion of pressure.
In other news, when CBS started airing NCIS in 2003, they probably had no idea that this spin-off of their JAG show would become such a huge hit. NCIS has become one of the most popular shows on TV, in large part because of its actors and characters. NCIS is still one of the most watched script TV shows ever, with millions of viewers each season. Here are the main characters' reasons for leaving NCIS.
Thought they might help.
Also, Ziva, talk to Maple. See if there's been any new contact, McGee.
I'll pick up the dentist that put in Dornigan's fake tooth.
First, Michael Weatherly and Caitlin Todd. Michael Weatherly was one of the first people to be on the first NCIS show, but working in the same place for more than a decade can be boring, even for an actor on a popular TV show. Weatherly said that he quit the show in 2016 because he was bored with it. He was burnt out by NCIS and really tired of playing Tony DiNozzo for 13 seasons. It looks like Weatherly wasn't too worn out by the hard work of making a series, because just 2 months after he left NCIS, CBS announced that Weatherly would be the star of his own show called Bull, which was based on the early years of Dr. Phil McGraw's career. But Weatherly's time as the main character in Bull hasn't been without trouble. In December 2018, CBS paid Eliza Dushku $9.5 million to settle her claim that former Bull co-star Michael Weatherly actually harassed her while she was on the show. Dushku said that she was kicked off the show because she talked to Weatherly about how he was acting.
Yes, he's a patient. I replaced a molar implant of his 2 weeks ago. I had some concerns about sterility issues with the manufacturer.
Caitlin Todd, played by Sasha Alexander, was one of the first NCIS special agents. As a former Secret Service agent on Air Force One, Kate was an expert at psychological profiling, and NCIS's tendency to break the rules often surprised her. Kate and her partner, Special Agent Anthony DiNozzo, and their future teammate, Special Agent Timothy McGee, eventually moved in together. Todd's departure from NCIS at the end of Season 2 was one of the most shocking in the show's history. Alexander was supposed to play Todd for 6 seasons, but at the end of Season 2 of NCIS, she quit as a regular character. Then showrunner Donald Bellisario said that Alexander did not have the stamina to film a 24-episode season, which Alexander told TV Guide took 10.5 months a year, 17 hours a day. Alexander doesn't regret leaving the hit show. She says that if she had stayed, she wouldn't have the family and creative freedom she has now. now.
So I was just thinking that with all of this stuff that's going on right now, maybe tomorrow night isn't such a good idea.
Next, Ziva David and Tony DiNozzo. Special Agent Ziva David, an Israeli Mossad officer, was brought in to take the place of Agent Todd, who had just died. David joined Mossad as a liaison officer, but she eventually quit and joined DiNozzo and McGee on the NCIS team full-time. Ziva's relationship with fellow agent Tony was one of the best parts of the show, and it ended with the birth of their daughter, Tali David DiNozzo. In Season 10 of NCIS, after the whole team quit to protect their team leader, David chose to go back to her home country of Israel when her colleagues went back to work. In Season 13, viewers and her team were led to believe that David had died in an attack on her farmhouse. However, it was later revealed that she had faked her death to keep deep undercover and killed the criminals who had attacked her and her family. Ziva was able to move to Paris with her husband and daughter once the threat was gone. Cote de Pablo played the tough Ziva David for a long time on NCIS. Leaving the show was not an easy choice for her. Even though De Pablo was offered even more money to stay on, she chose to keep David's honor. In the end, De Pablo said that the scripts weren't good enough for her character. Tony DiNozzo was a big part of what made the NCIS team what it was. Tony DiNozzo was a very special agent who worked with Gibbs from the start of the series. He was known for his charm, humor, and playboy behavior, which often got him into trouble with his team leader.
What?
No, I am not talking.
It seemed like nothing could get DiNozzo to leave his job, but in the end, love won. Ziva died, and DiNozzo left to take care of his daughter. But that wasn't the end of his story. Once the dust settled, DiNozzo was ready to settle down with Ziva and raise their daughter in Paris, where she was thought to have died. Weatherly was a regular on NCIS for 13 seasons. After that long, the actor was just tired of the show. He also missed a lot how well his character got along with Ziva David, who had already left the show. Even though there had been many rumors about his return since Harmon left, nothing has been confirmed so far.
Either of us having any luck? No. Nope, solid as a rock.
Finally, Leroy Jethro Gibbs. Agent Jethro Gibbs was the only one who appeared to remain consistent throughout the turnover that occurred within the NCIS Major Case Response Team. Gibbs did not tolerate any nonsense from his agents and made it clear to them. He kept everyone on his team in line with his own rules and made sure that they ultimately prevailed against the opponent every time. He managed his team like a well-oiled family machine. It appeared as though Gibbs would always be in charge of his team. However, in 2021, he made the decision to retire to Alaska, which is where he ultimately discovered peace. After 18 years of working on NCIS, Mark Harmon has decided to leave the show, at least in the capacity of an actor.
German spies behind enemy lines in World War II. They traveled in pairs using the buddy system.
Well, which star would you like to see return to the show? Comment below.